What is the difference between the President and the Prime Minister of India? The President of India appoints the Prime Minister of India on the advice of Council of Ministers. As per Article 75, it states that the Prime Minister shall be appointed by the President. However, this does not imply that the President is free to appoint anyone as their Prime Minister. In accordance with the convention of the parliamentary system of government, the President has to appoint the leader of the majority party in the Lok Sabha as the Prime Minister. But when no party has a clear majority in Lok Sabha, then the President may exercise his personal discretion in the selection and appointment of the Prime Minister. In such cases, the President usually appoints the leader of the largest party or coalition in the Lok Sabha as the Prime Minister and asks him to seek a vote of confidence in the House within a month. The Union Executive consists of the President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Council of Ministers, and the Attorney General of India. The President is the head of the Indian state. He is the first citizen of India and acts as a symbol of unity, integrity, and solidarity of the nation. In other words, President is the head of the state, while the Prime Minister is the head of the government. The Prime Minister is appointed by the President on the advice of Council of Ministers, but the qualification required for the candidature of Prime Minister. Constitutionally, the Prime Minister may be a member of any of the two houses of Parliament. The age requirement for the qualification of Prime Minister is if he is a member of Rajya Sabha, it should be 30 years old, and if he is a member of Lok Sabha, he should be at least 25 years old. The qualification of President also involves he should be a citizen of India, he should have completed 35 years of age, he should be qualified for elections as a member of the Lok Sabha, he should not hold any office of profit under the union government or the state government or any local authority or any other public authority. Now let's talk about the powers and functions of the President. Executive powers, legislative powers, financial powers, judicial powers, diplomatic powers, military powers, and emergency powers. The President can practice all these powers, but only in the influence of Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. He can't execute all these powers by his own decisions, on his own will. The powers and functions of the Prime Ministers. I will dissect this in three parts: in relation to the Council of Ministers, in relation to the President, and in relation to the Parliament. When it comes to the Council of Ministers, he recommends persons who can be appointed as the ministers by the President. The President can appoint only those persons as ministers who are recommended by the Prime Minister. He allocates and reshuffles various portfolios among the ministers. He can ask a minister to resign or advise the President to dismiss him in case of the difference of opinion. He presides over the meeting of Council of Ministers and influences its decisions. He guides, directs, controls, and coordinates all the activities of the ministers. He can bring about the collapse of the Council of Ministers by resigning from the office. Since the Prime Minister stands as the head of the Council of Ministers, the other ministers cannot function when the Prime Minister resigns or dies. In relation to the President, he is the principal channel of communication between the President and the Council of Ministers. It is the duty of the Prime Minister to communicate to the President all decisions of the Council of Ministers relating to the administration of the affairs of the Union and proposals for legislation. He advises the President with regard to the appointment of important officials like Attorney General of India, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, Chairman and members of the UPSC, Election Commissioner, Chairman and members of the Finance Commission, and so on. Now, in relation to the Parliament, he advises the President with regard to summoning and proroguing of the sessions of the Parliament. He can recommend dissolutions of the Lok Sabha to President at any time. He announces government policies on the floor of the House. In addition to the previous three major roles, the Prime Minister has various other roles as well, and they are: he is the Chairman of the Niti Aayog, National Integration Council, Interstate Council, National Water Resource Council, and some other bodies as well. He plays a significant role in shaping the foreign policy of the country. He is the chief spokesman of the Union government. He is the crisis manager in chief at the political level during emergencies. As a leader of the nation, he meets various sections of people in different states and receives memoranda from them regarding their problems and so on. He is leader of the party in power. He is political head of the service. Thus, the Prime Minister plays a very significant and highly crucial role in the politico-administrative system of the country. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar stated, "If any functionary under our constitution is to be compared with the US President, he is the Prime Minister and not the President of the Union. As per Article 78, it shall be the duty of the Prime Minister to communicate to the President all decisions of the Council of Ministers relating to the administration of the affairs of the Union and proposals of the legislation. To furnish such information relating to the administration of the affairs of the Union and proposals for legislation as the President may call for, and if the President so requires to submit for the consideration of the Council of Ministers any matter on which a decision has been taken by a minister but which has not been considered by the Council. Before ending this, I would like to say that on the death of Jawaharlal Nehru and Lal Bahadur Shastri, when the leadership was contested, the President made temporary arrangements by appointing the senior most minister as the Prime Minister until the formal election of the leader by the party. Both times it was Gulzari Lal Nanda who acted as the Prime Minister.